Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Computer Doctor Show, mobile edition. And I thought I would talk to you today about the restoration partition on computers. Now, on laptops and desktops that are Windows based, and many other systems for that matter, you have different partitions within the hard drive. So you have the hard drive itself, but the hard drive can behave like multiple drives. And the way that's done is through partitions. So you can separate or divide the website. You could divide the hard drive into certain sections that behave very, very differently. This allows you to have certain parts of the memory that's on the hard drive to be for certain things and not be interrupted by the other functions or the other memories of the other partitions. It's something that will allow maybe one computer to boot into maybe 2, 3, or 4 or more operating systems when it's the same exact computer. Because you can have one hard drive partitioned into 2 or 3 or 4 partitions, and when you turn the computer on, you get to decide which partition you want the computer to pay attention to. Things like that. So, if your computer, for some reason, does not boot properly, one of the self-fixing functionalities that the computer has is called the restore partition. And the restore partition is used to replace any of the bad sectors or any of the bad things that may have happened to the memory of the main partition. They are then repaired by this other partition that was not affected because they're separate. Now, what sometimes happens is if something happens to the hard drive itself that affected or corrupted some of the files in your main partition, that same thing that corrupted the main partition, whether it be physical damage or just the files just being old, or them not being accessed, or even them being accessed in some other way that corrupted the restore partition as well. What you'll end up with is a computer that doesn't start up right, and then when it tries to restore itself, it will fail the restore as well. So what do you do when a computer won't start and can't repair its startup procedure? Well, that's when you need to go even further back, and you need to do what's called I like to call it a disk repair, or using an install disk, where you put that in and then you run the startup repair procedure from the install disk. Now, that install disk, a lot of people may not have it. At least in my business, a lot of people don't have it. People that followed the instructions when you first bought your computer, or when you first installed Windows 10 or your operating system, one of the procedures is to create your own repair disk. And the repair disk can be created by getting a blank DVD, putting it into the DVD drive of the computer, and then going into the control panel and finding where to burn your repair disk. You can also burn a password restore disk in case you forget the password to the computer. So there's several different of these disks that you can burn and have with you. I have universal disks that can fix just about anything or repair just about any startup. But if you don't have those, you're probably gonna have to bring it to somebody like me. You can buy them on eBay and other places that have it. Okay, I'm not gonna embellish on where, but you can get those discs, run the repair, and then you're home free. If those discs don't always work, but if they do, great. If not, then you're probably looking at having to restore the entire operating system, where you have to back up your files and restore the operating system and then put the files back in. So it actually happens more often than people want to believe. But if it's something that happens on an ongoing basis, you may have a failing hard drive. And if your hard drive doesn't have the smart technology where it actually tells you, hey, I'm failing, replace me, not all hard drives have that capability. But if it is doing that, it's a good idea to have a backup for all of your files, so in case the whole thing does conk out, you can just migrate and merge all of your data. I like to call it your soul into another computer. Everything that you would need the computer for would be merged into this new system. Okay, so those are a few pointers. I hope that you were able to grasp something from that, and if this should happen to you, you could always give me a call at my shop, 520-261-5508. This is the Computer Doctor of Tucson. I bid you good day, and I'll see you next video.